sir! Welcome to another episode of High Frequency Combo. As always, I'm your host, Wes Hunt. And as always, this is my co-host and big brother,
Juss Da God.
and this is the podcast where we spark blunts and conversation. And this is episode 18, number 9. Know what I mean? Completion. After this, we started back over to 1. 1 plus 8 is 9. I mean, it's completion. So it's like, in this episode, and like, share, subscribe, mother. If I'm, that nigga is crazy. I'm gonna break out eventually. Like, share, subscribe, comment, bad or good. Any feedback is welcome. You know what I mean? We got thick skin. We're from Brooklyn, flappers. I can say what I want. You know what I mean? This episode, the last episode we tuned in, we had basically another versus episode, but it wasn't like us going against each other. We just talking about NBA and doing our topics, NFL and wrestling. If you haven't checked that out, y'all go check that new videos out. But this episode is about. There's 3 topics going on. One episode is going to be about bad habits, good habits, and then of course the mindset that ties in between the 2. So we're going to start off, of course, with bad habits. We're going to jump right into this motherfucking shit. In our opinion, because we can look at the Webster dictionary or the Wikipedia dictionary, but just for what you call it, I want, in our opinion, you can start with you, define a bad habit.
Something that's no beneficial to you. It doesn't add on. It just takes away.
My definition of, that's a good definition. My definition of a bad habit is, and I agree with that also, but if I had to also branch off, it's something people do which may be comfortable to them unconsciously, but it's not beneficial. Like I said, it's just taken away. It's something you're used to, it's something that you're comfortable with, it's something that, but it's taken away. It's not beneficial to the whole, you know what I mean? Like, but how does bad habits develop?
Easy, because we're creatures of habits, and bad habits develop from routine.
But how did I mean, go ahead.
The routine causes bad habits. Routine causes bad habits to develop. You know what I mean? And you develop. I mean, at first you're not considering it to be bad habits. You just living in life and you just doing. But you know, I mean, to be honest with you, I always say with hindsight. With hindsight as your teacher, you know those are bad habits when you're doing them. Because you get that feeling on the inside that what you're doing is not beneficial to you. Whether, you know what I'm saying, it's like if you're in a relationship with a girl and you running around cheating and you know she's being loyal to you, then you know that, you know what I mean, you already know that you created a bad habit that's not been non-beneficial to you. It's not going to add on to the situation that you claim that you involved in. Or even if, like, you know, you smoking cigarettes, you see the 1,000,001 commercials, you buy the pack, you see what it says, you know what I'm saying? But we become creatures of habit, and bad habits develop to, you know what I mean, until you become, you know what I'm saying, creatures of habits. You know what I mean? That's how you develop your bad habits, by doing things that, you know, make you. Most of the times, the things that are bad habits are the things that makes us feel good. And those things that makes us feel good, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And that's why, you know what I mean? But everything that makes you feel good ain't always good for you. You know what I'm saying? It's food, certain shows that you watch, certain music that you listen to.
Cupcakes and that shit is good, and that shit, but like, it's killing you.
Everything should be.
Your emotions lead to bad habits.
Yes. We're gonna get to all this. We're gonna get to all that.
Yeah, emotions do lead to bad habits.
When you start thinking bad or feeling bad, you're gonna start.
You know what I'm saying? Because first of all, most people ain't in control of their emotions.
Yep.
Most people let their emotions control them, and it's hard not
to.
to.
And not to cut you off and maybe go back on, because I still got to answer what's good. If we get to all that, that's a very good point. And what he said is a great point. Most people was not even, I won't say like they're not even in control of their emotions, but I will go as far as to say they're not even aware that they're emotional or their emotions just control them. You feel me? They just think, yo, this is just me. This is how I've always been. I heard people say that. This is like, I think their emotions just control them subconsciously. I don't think. I know their emotions control every action they do and every decision they make subconsciously. Go ahead.
Nah, I agree. And the thing with it's 2 sides to that coin. You got the people who feel that they're in control of the emotions because they don't exert any emotions. And then you got the people who are completely emotional for every whim, every wind that blows their way, they react off everything. So it's 2 extremes to the coin. No when there's no balance, there's nobody who okay, fine. I don't like this motherfucker. But rather than saying I don't like him, why don't you like him? See, you know what I mean? Deal with the emotion, or you know what I'm saying? Or I want to eat this cake. I need to eat this, or I need to smoke this at this time, or why? You gotta examine the feeling, examine the emotion. Just don't disregard it or accept it. Examine why you feel this way. You usually realize that it stems from your upbringing. It stems from, like, when you're dealing in a low vibration frequency world, it's hard to be in control of your emotions unless you're in control of yourself. It always goes back to the same thing over and over. Yourself. See, being a low frequency
like
world.
7 podcast episodes.
Over and over.
We're gonna keep saying this for the rest of our fucking life.
Because low frequency. See, the thing is, the music you're listening to is low frequency. The food you're eating is low frequency. The conversations you have with people are low frequency. So therefore, the vibration that you're going to emit is going to be a low frequency.
I was listening to an audiobook, 100 Ways to Motivate Yourself, and one of the things he said exactly what you said. He said, control. He said, we in an era where we can control the intake of what you basically take in. You know, don't look at too much fucking news. Don't look at so much mind-numbing things, because that's what you're doing. Like, you just look at, like, people's already vibrating on low frequency, and going to this point, you just listen to low frequency music, eating low frequency food, and there's no balance. There's no balance. Cause I don't do everything high frequency. You know what I mean? I'm aspiring to do everything on a high frequency, but you gotta have some balance in it. You gotta throw some balance in it. You gotta look at a fucking documentary, learn something, read a motherfucking book, or do something like I said, to build versus destroy. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna let you go and finish your point. That match.
No, but there's, the bad habits develop through you just because we're creatures of habits. So the same way you develop bad habits, you could develop good habits. But the thing is, what is good habits? But bad habits develop. But good.
You get to that too.
You know what I mean? But bad habits develop through the fact that you're not in control of yourself, and you don't understand due to the world the things that you're doing are bad for you because they're not telling you it's bad for you.
They're encouraging them.
So they're encouraging it because what they want is low frequency creatures. Because it's easier to control somebody who vibrates on a low frequency than somebody who high vibrates. You can't control somebody who vibrates on a high frequency. So you know what I mean. So you just gotta analyze yourself and look at yourself and see: is the things I'm doing adding on to me or taking away from me?
Building or destroying.
And if it's not, and you know what I mean, it's like the 5%. It's like when I used to study. You know what I'm saying? You adding. You know what I'm saying? You either adding on, you know what I'm saying, or you destroying. You know what I'm saying? Either you build or you destroy. You know what I'm saying? And it's better to add on, but sometimes you got to destroy to rebuild.
Personally, I think bad habits, and I agree with everything you said, but I also think bad habits develop from it's a comfortability, not being self-aware. They may know internally it's a bad habit, but they're going to convince themselves that it's just dumb. Or this is what I like to do. I had a long day from work, I'm unwind, and they may be doing it in excess, but they rationalize it over and over in their head. Like, because, and I was a victim of it too. I mean, that's how I know a lot of these shits, because a lot of these things I've done. So I know what these motherfuckers going through. And I also think bad habits develop out of routine, out of lack of faith, out of lack of out of insecurities. Boom. Alright. How a bad habit could be an insecurity. Okay. You be okay. Go get to work on time. Get to work on time, or do something, and you just like, oh no, I can't do that. I can't do that. That's in you. Like, you can. It's what is stopping you to do it. You can do it. For whatever reason, you just think you can't do it. Now, I mean, like, it's an insecurity, it's a lack of faith, it's just a bad, and every bad habit is just a lack of self-discipline. Now, I mean, like, it's a lack of self-discipline, a lack of self-fucking awareness. Like, and
that's the after effect, though. After you realize it's a bad habit.
No, but even while it's going on, it's still a bad habit. It's still a lack of self-discipline. While you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, it's still a lack of self-discipline, lack of self-awareness. That's why you're doing it. When you become aware of it, now you got the self-awareness, but if you keep continuing, then it just becomes still a lack of self-discipline. So it's like, it's the lead up. Nothing just starts out of nowhere from nothing. Nobody just be like, okay, you just brought up cigarettes. Everybody starts smoking cigarettes for different reasons. Some people, I did it when I was younger. I did it for stress. I did it because my big brothers did it. I did it to look cool or whatever the case may be. But then it still becomes a bad habit. It becomes a crutch.
Yeah,
just like everything fucking else. Just like weed, just like alcohol, like whatever you do.
It becomes a bad habit.
In excess, like
right.
my mommy always said.
Anything in
and
excess.
is not good
right.
for you.
But the person who originally started, they didn't know. They just started something that became routine and became habitual through routine.
But like as you said, you do know. Like you do know if it's bad. Okay, boom, like
yeah,
this.
because you buy the pack and you see the pack says no.
Exactly, shit like that.
Causes cancer.
Even like, oh, okay, say you're stealing chips every day from school. I used to do that shit when I was younger. Like, steal a chip, put it under my book bag. Like, put it 3 under my book bag because my book bag was heavy and it would just trap it and I could walk out. And of course, whatever's in dark comes to light. So one day I get caught. You know what I mean? Like, but that's a bad habit I developed. You know why? Because I got away with it for like 5 months. So every time I want something, I just go to the store like I had money. No, I'm just going to the store. That's a bad habit you develop. Even though every time I did it, and I was like 7, 8, I knew it was wrong. How did I know it was wrong? Because before I do it, I'm like, if you don't think it was wrong, you just been doing shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I knew it was wrong, so I'm looking out to my brother Johnny. So it's like you know it's wrong, but you develop a bad habit because you get so routine at it. It becomes such a fucking routine. And routines is great when it's good things, when it's positive and high frequency. Routines can be very detrimental. Like, and the audiobook guys also listen to it. Like I said, this shit got so much juice. He said, and the shit I always say, the comfortability thing, but he phrased it and he articulated it nice and beautiful. He said, one person said, "Why I keep fucking up?" Because he's talking to somebody. Well, the guy's like, "Why I keep fucking up?" And he's like, "Yo," he said, "because it feels like home to you." Meaning like, you're used. This is what you're used to. This is what's feel comfortable to you. This feels like home, but now home is not always good. Home could be a mess. Home, you could be getting fucking molested at home. Home don't always have to be good, but it does feel like home. So you could get into something.
Once you get into something,
and I figured that shit out years ago. People was comfortable being on some other shit. Like, if they don't know it,
it's because what they know.
It's just
what they know.
It's just what they know.
It's what they know.
And I knew it, and I figured it out because that's what I went through. I did it.
That's why you have to be self-aware of yourself in order to know what you know may not be good for you.
And it was not. I'm keeping G real with you. I was not. I don't know if you did this, but it's not. If it's not telling I got self-aware, I can't keep it real myself. You know, it felt good. I keep it real. Like not the concept being 2020. I understand that. I think it felt good. It didn't feel good consciously. But a lot of times when I feel like, fuck that, man. Fuck this shit, man. Fuck it. Fuck, I don't give a fuck about that. Like, and it's a give up attitude, and it feels good. Because it takes the pressure off you. Oh, it's not my fault. It's somebody else's hand. It's this and that and the third. That's also a bad habit. Procrastination, bad habit. It's so much bad habits don't always have to mean like something physical, like smoking a cigarette. It's so much factors. It could be how you treat people. It could be fucking how you on your outlook on life. It could be anything. I mean, like, and it develops off of routine and comfortability. Because being positive, I'm saying it as an example because there's so much other factors. Being positive when you use negative all your life, it feels uncomfortable at first. Because it's not what you're used to.
Anything that you ain't never did before is uncomfortable.
That's my next point. It's a great segue. But anything you ever did, like before you went to fucking school for the first time, you was nervous. Even if you went to elementary for the first time, you was nervous. Then you got used to elementary. But you had to go to junior high. Then you nervous because anything you ever fucking do new is gonna be nervous. But like you said, what you rather do, add on or take away, build or destroy. So even if it's uncomfortable for the moment, it won't be uncomfortable forever. That'll become your new routine. That being negative, and just in this example, will feel like how positive felt. Uneasy. But it's way better. It adds on to you. It's way better. Like, so it's like you might want to, you have to, like you said, go self-awareness. You have to self-reflect and have to actually think and actually put this shit to practice and apply it. It's not going to change over fucking night. Because you didn't used to become negative overnight. You used to develop them bad habits overnight. So if you try to quit cigarettes, quit drinking, quit weed, quit this, quit that, it's going to take work. Because you put a mad years of work of the negative shit, so you gotta do the opposite. You know what I mean? But it's beneficial. If you could do it that way, like I said, I'm just saying that as a metaphor, playing for the devil is easy, nigga. Like, it's easy to do all the hard work shit. Being great, being motherfucking disciplined, doing the right things, it's fucking hard. You know what I mean? So, like, depending on what team you want to play for. But, how do you change a bad habit? I know it's a self-reflection about, like, how do you take the physical steps? And I got a few things that I do to change bad. How do you change a bad habit? Like, especially something that's been a nigga's been doing for so fucking long. That feels normal to them. They don't even know it's a bad habit. They might just think it's a personality trait, or they might think it's a circumstance of their situation, or because there's so much factors. We can always just
you gotta embrace it.
You elaborate. What you mean?
You gotta embrace
depends
it.
on what the situation is.
You gotta.
I mean, you embrace everything because
you gotta embrace it all. Yeah, you gotta embrace everything. You can't. You gotta embrace the fact that you have a bad habit. You gotta embrace the fact that you're a crackhead. You gotta embrace the fact that you're an alcoholic. If you don't embrace these facts, you can't change. You can't become a better person. You know what I'm saying? You got, you know what I'm saying? Every habit, the habits that you have is not physical. It's mental. None of them are physical, they're mental. They become physical because the
physical action is the byproduct of what happens in the mental.
The continuous habitual behavior becomes physical. But every habit that you create is a mental habit that you're creating in the mind. Yep. So you have to change the way you think before it could lead to anything. You have to change the way you think.
Can you before you go forward, you gotta change the way you think. I'm gonna write that down so you can remember where you stopped off. Can you give whoever's watching, like, if you could articulate it, how do you change the way you think? You don't have to give it. How the fuck you change the way you think? Cause I could say, what's the steps? Because a lot of people like, I know people like, how? Nigga, like, what do I do?
It's easy.
I say it's easy too, but it's in hindsight it's easy, but you can't front. When it was beginning, it took work to fine tune. It's not an overnight process that you just run out.
No. To be honest with you, in the beginning, it was not easy only because I thought it was complicated. That's why. I learned something when I was going to Tutu. You know what I'm saying?
He taught tell me the reason how to change the way you think.
I'm going to go back to that. The reason why I learned something from Tutu, nothing is complicated. Everything is very simple. We make things complicated by the way we think. So lo and behold, you know what I'm saying, the flow of all flows was right below my nose. You know what I'm saying? So instead of looking out, you look within. It's easy. Instead of going left, just go right. Instead of going right, just go left. That's just how easy it is. Instead of doing what you've been doing for the last 40-something years, do something different.
The definition of somebody doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is the definition of being insane.
So
go ahead, man.
So it's like, if the laptop is closed every day, then you leave the laptop open.
Because let's see how that is. Because the laptop is closed.
See how that is.
You know how that is already. You know how the laptop being closed is.
Tuesday gonna come. The laptop might be closed on Tuesday. The problem with people is
they don't open it back up.
And they beat them. Why they don't open it back up? Because they beat themselves up about having it closed. That's why they didn't open back out. Because they beat themselves up by closing it. So what if you close it?
Yep.
So what if you close it? Because the first time you smoked a cigarette, you coughed, but you kept smoking it. The first time you drank that coffee, you may not like that taste, but you kept drinking that coffee. The first time you got with short, you may not even like that, but you wanted some ass, so you kept pressing it. And then after a while, you develop a like for it. She may not like you neither, but because you kept pressing it, she started liking it. So
just to get the ass, you have to put the work in. You just think like the last time you used to go up the first night. So like, what's the difference?
So it's never gonna go according to plan when you're downloading a new program into the system and you're deleting the old program. Especially when the computer is an old model. When it's a new model and it's a 5-year-old model or 8-year-old model or 10-year-old model, it's easier. But when you're dealing with 33, 34-year-old model, 36-year-old model, 47, and they're stuck in their ways and they feel that their ways is the way, then it's going to be harder for them to keep that laptop open.
Not impossible.
Don't beat yourself up. If it's closed, so what? It's closed today. Open it back tomorrow. That's it.
At one point, and guess what? At one point, that shit will stay open.
At one point, if you keep doing that, the routine will develop. All it is routine. What makes somebody smart? The ability to retain information and then apply that information. You understand what I'm saying? So that's all it is. But how do you retain this information? Some people are born with great photographic memories, but for those who aren't, continuous routine and repeating the same thing over and over, the information will be downloaded and retained. So if you start by changing the way you think, then the physical action will automatically happen. You don't have to, you know what I mean? Neo, first, you tell me I'm gonna stop bullets now, nigga, you ain't gonna have to at the end, because at the end you won't have to do it. It'll be done by the way you think it. It'll be done.
And for how you know that's to be a fact, think about everything. This camera we recorded on, this mic, these laptops, this pen, this cup of water, this slider, this fucking light remote, this everything in this motherfucking space, everything in y'all motherfucking rooms or y'all work. It started up here first. So if all that greatness and all that creativity could come from your mind, you don't think you know how life works, right? With the balance, you don't think the opposite reaction is happening as well? Everything starts with the mind. Like a bad habit is like it's just not a physical thing. It's not. Everything is a mental thing. They say sex is 90% mental. Why? You know what I mean? That's the reason you can have wet dreams and you just not touching nobody. Like, everything's straight mental. You have to rewire your fucking brain. Like, that's the perfect example. You keep opening and closing the computer. At one point, the computer's gonna be motherfucking open. Or at one point, you're gonna remember to open the computer off the rip because it's gonna become your new routine. But what people do is always quit in the middle. That's what Kobe Bryant said. One of his motherfucking quotes. He said, "Never quit in the middle. You never rest in the middle. Rest at the end." People always rest in the middle. Oh man, she ain't going. You do this for 4 or 5 months. Instead of keep doing it, you stop. You know what I mean? And also, I'm gonna keep bringing this fucking audio book. Look this shit up. 100 ways to self-motivate yourself. This nigga give you mad jewels. You know what I mean? Like, that you already know, but he not how to articulate it. If you don't know, he's giving you mad jewels. He said, the process of progress is never a straight line. Like, never. He said it's a rigid, like, it's never gonna, so if all the self-improvement, it's never gonna just be like, it's not gonna be like that.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You know why that book has purpose for you?
What?
Because you change the way you think. Another person will pick up that fucking book and it will have no purpose for them.
But it's I see what you're saying, but ain't a fact a fact?
A fact is a fact when a person is willing to accept the fact. Perspective create reality. So therefore, if your perspective ain't mine, so therefore, all we do is share the same perspective, the room. What I think and how I think is not the same way you're going to think. That's the problem with this whole shit. So, a self-aware book to self-improve somebody only going to work if that person is willing to improve themselves already. And then the steps, then you could be like, all right, damn, okay, let me try this. But if they not willing to improve themselves, none of that shit going to work. How you know? Been there, done it. Nothing works until you're willing to change yourself. Everything. That's why most people.
But can I say something like, and I agree with that. I agree with that in a sense, because like, even going back to the same book, he said he ran to one of the Napoleon Hill books back then. He said when you looking for things, going to this point, that's why I was Butch Cole, but I also want to ask a thing. Then I want to go to you can give him a little jewel how the symphony. I can do that. But he said when you on the path to self-improvement, or you on the path to try to grow yourself, you're gonna start running into the things. This oil book. Yeah, you're gonna run into the thing. It's like, do you think? But
why?
I got two questions for you. Quick, fast, answer it.
But
why do you? Okay, do you have to be on a different frequency to have to run into these shits?
Yes.
Say if you run into by mistake, how does that not wake you up when he's talking nothing but facts? It's not complicated facts. It's just straight up facts.
First, right. Most of the time, you're never gonna run into the things. Why? Because in order to run into these things, you have to be on the same frequencies. Back to what I said.
I didn't look for this shit. This is popping my feet.
That's why I said about dodging the bullet. See, people believe that you all the time have to fit physical actions and things. No. Once you convince yourself that what you believe in is in belief, and the whole thought process is there, you're a magnet. Your thoughts are magnets. You will start to attract things to you. You will turn your computer on and you'll be like, oh shit.
It just popped in my feet. You know what I'm saying? My phone.
Oh shit. That's why. Because you hit the same frequency that information is. Everything is vibrating on the frequency.
So you think me hitting that same frequency literally, tangibly drew that information to me? Because I ran into a lot of things.
Of course. Now you're talking about the science.
That's interesting. I would like to know how that really works. I've heard that before, like the magnetism.
Because once you do, because this ain't a physical world we're dealing with.
Yeah, I already know that.
And everything is moving on vibrations and frequencies. So once you tap into the same vibration of the frequencies, like when you tap into the vibration and frequency of money, how you get there? Make every cell in your body think about money. Dream about it. Talk about it. Live it. Read about it. You're going to run into money. You're going to run into money. See, let me tell you something, Clay. Physical action coming. I want to pin bitches. With no disrespect to women. I want to pimp bitches. So I am out here. Alright. Pimp teaching me. Pitting me on. However, I'm learning. I'm downloading the knowledge. I'm in it to win it. You will start to meet women on that same vibe, the same frequency. It's a given. That's why I completely believe if you recognize who you are, everything falls into
I'm
line.
gonna go to this point quick, fast, and we're gonna jump because this is gonna be on a whole nother. I'm not making a note about this to make a whole fucking episode about this magnetism shit. That I want to bring up examples, people that people that's talking about it. That shit's ill. But to go to this fucking magnetism point, which is an interesting thing, which I've heard about. That's not a new premise to me, but it just hit me a little different. Like
The law of attraction.
Law of attraction. When we was playing football, we just like after we left high school, we didn't know there was junior pros. We just started because we just practiced one time. We just ran into so much leagues, and you don't believe all the shit's around Brooklyn because Brooklyn's known for basketball. Really, like, you don't believe all this is around Brooklyn. It's like just because we was just I don't know if we was really looking for a job, but it just pop up in job and find it. It's crazy. Like it's crazy. Like when you draw energy to something. That could go to the negative too, yo. That could go to the negative too. Like you could be drawing a negative energy.
Yeah, that's right. Be careful what you're thinking. Careful what you say, because you will draw everything.
It sounds good when you talk about the positive shit, but like going back to the original point, it definitely could fuck you up. I mean, if you think negative or you're in negative situations and you have that negative energy, you're gonna keep drawing that shit to you. You're gonna keep drawing negative shit to you, bro. Like, and we could say that when you're on a block versus when you work or versus when you do something else. They're kind of like that energy you drawing.
You're speaking what you want into existence.
Even though we wasn't speaking on the block, we still speaking the same shit we speaking. You know what I mean? If you want to be honest. But it's just the environment, I guess.
No. To be honest with you.
Because we used to still speak, especially
to be honest with you, right. And to be honest with you, my approach and my outlook is the reason why nothing happened.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, that's why nothing happened. Everything that happened that with the block happened because that's what's supposed to happen. When you hustling, certain things come with hustling. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean? What you don't want is to be wrapped up for a long time and stuff like that. That didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that's the energy and never dwelling in that state. And when the capacity to not completely block all that out, you leave.
It's hard, man, for a lot of people.
It is hard because they're making so much money. It wasn't hard for me. I wasn't making shit. I was living.
Like, how do you change your bad habits?
I changed the way I think, and I try to work on that every day.
And how do you change the way you think? Just so somebody get like an idea.
To be honest with you, I just stopped thinking this way instead of that way. Like, for instance, rather than I took the reality, like what you said is insanity towards. So okay, if it's my whole life I believe in the Bible, and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed, and the result is the same, right? Maybe it's me and the way I'm praying. So maybe I need to reassess that and change the way I think. You know what I mean? Change the way I think rather than keep thinking on that same frequency. Change the frequency. Okay, so I'm gonna go left. I believe in the higher being, the higher energy, but I don't believe prescribed to that no more. So I'm gonna go with that, and just go left or go right. If it's been left, you've been going your whole life, then go right. Just try something different that you never tried before, like what we're doing right here. You know what I'm saying? What we're doing right here. You know what I'm saying? You just go for it. Just go. You know what I mean? And go. And it's the same thing as the push-up or anything like you was just saying, you know what I mean? You ain't going to want to go every day, but you go when you don't want to go. I tell people easy. You know when you could judge a character of an individual? People, not when they doing things for you, when they can. When they doing things for you, when they can't. See? So like, alright, wife will ask me to go to the store and I have an attitude for it, but I'm still gonna go. So I tell her one day, I said, now look at it like this. I can go to the store with you and smile and hate you every day. Or you can know how I feel and I'm still gonna go. Why I'm still gonna go? Because, you know what I'm saying? I got no, you know what I mean? It's no real issue with me going. I'm just expressing who I am. So, but you know that nigga's there for me. He there for me when he up. He there for me when he down. I'm just not physically in the mood to do it. So it's like you could tell a lot about people when they're doing things for you when they can't. When they can't. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you change your frequency. You change the way you think. The physical actions without you even knowing what's going to happen, man. without you even knowing, because you
It's
thinking differently.
it's just a byproduct.
Yeah, it's the byproduct.
Yeah, your body gotta follow.
That's
Listen,
why it's so much not doing the physical, so much just the way you think. It's the
the
body got to follow.
I'm gonna touch very, very brief on this, and we're gonna move on because he hit 98% of the topic. But listen, man. If whoever think, and I'm going to the easiest thing, whoever think working out is physical is, you don't work out. You don't. You don't do it consistently, because if that shit is all mental, straight. Have to, okay, I'm gonna do it this day. I'm doing this day. Okay, I'm tired. My body's fucking hurt. I'm still gonna keep doing it. That's all up here. Your body has nothing to do with this. Your body just following how strong your mind is. You know what I mean? Like working out taught me a lot about discipline and like everything, because when you don't want to do something. Like, I've been working out for 11 years. I didn't want to, and I'm keeping it real 80% of the time. You do not want to work the fuck out. People don't understand that. That's why a lot of people don't. Because, including me, to this day, 80% of the time I still don't want to. I'm like, oh man, I'm fucking tired. But you do it anyway. Like today, I'm tired. We here. You know what I mean? This is the byproduct. Like, you have to, and the way I changed my bad habits is simply like what you said. It was just, I said, you know something? I've been doing this way all this time. I'm going to try this way. Then once I started trying it, it felt fake at first. Because I'm like, damn, it's not my comfortability. It's not home to me. It don't feel familiar. But I kept doing it. And once I started seeing the fucking different results on the high frequency positive end, I said, I'm never going back. Because I experienced the other motherfucking side. It's nothing but motherfucking negativity, me being depressed. Who cares and why? Like, it makes no sense. The way you change your bad habits is constantly knowing, do I want to stay this person? If you're completely happy with who you are, by all means, forget this whole shit, what we're saying, and wait to the next topic, which is the good habits. But listen, if you're depressed, and you hate your life, and you think this, you think bad about nigga, start taking the strides to change it. Because it's all up here. It's all your mind. It's all your motherfucking mind. Like I said.
You see, like physical workout, the byproduct of that is the body. Mm-hmm. The initial product that nobody really sees is the mind.
All body.
You're strengthening the mind.
Yep.
You're strengthening the
mind.
mind.
Even more than the body. I can argue more than the body.
You could think.
Yeah,
that's why I said the byproduct is only the body. The
byproduct
is the way your body looks. If you go in for that and you like that, yeah, that's the byproduct. You got that. But if you're really paying attention to the lesson that you're learning, there's always multiple lessons that you learn in everything that you encounter and do. Everything that you do was for you, was to teach you a lesson. So the more anything, you're strengthening your mind. Yep. Your mind is becoming stronger and stronger. The ability to go from 1 push-up to 2 to 2 to 4 to 4 to 5 to 10 to 20 to 30 to 100 to 200 to 300 to 400. That's a mental strength.
It's almost like what you said. You almost say it. It's almost like even reading the books. Once you get a byproduct, you may be getting smarter. But the reason you're getting smarter because you developing the ability to retain a lot of information. Because you're reading so much books, you develop and you
strengthening the muscle, exercising the muscle. Muscles
just like working out.
Thinking.
You go from reading one book to having time focusing to be able to go through 4 or 5 books in a month. That's how it works.
There's a saying that says and like I said, I still don't prescribe to the Bible, but there's a saying that goes, only the people with the childlike mind will childlike mind will enter into heaven. And I understand that.
I understand it
because
hell yeah.
You have to have the ability to still, no matter how old you use your mind to create.
And that's another thing that's loose.
Use the ability to envision and create. You see, the reason why your world is so chaotic and fucked up is by the thoughts you're putting out. Once you're able to control your thoughts and create the world that you want to create, then the world around you changes. Shit sounds fake, but it's real.
And this is an excellent, this is not a much more topic. This just came to me. Do you think jealousy could be considered a bad habit? If somebody's jealous of somebody, or you're envious, or like you're a hater, or whatever you think.
I don't know if it's a bad. I think jealousy is a person who just are insecure within themselves, and they see somebody.
It's confused admiration.
They see somebody as something inside of that person that they admire, but they don't. It becomes confused.
But could that be a bad habit? Like.
No, because that person ain't gonna go around feeling like that with everybody.
That's true.
They only gonna feel like that with that one particular person. I attribute jealousy to insecurity. I attribute jealousy for you disliking yourself. So you know what I mean. And my philosophy is, being the fact that, you know what I mean, once I changed and stopped prescribing to what I used to prescribe for when I in my belief in God, my philosophy is this: we all come from the all, so we all are I, right? And being the fact that we all one in one. I'm you, you and me, vice versa with cancer and everybody else. So when somebody sees somebody's jealous of you, it's because they see inside of them what they wish they could bring out of.
It's confused admiration.
Yeah, it's they got it inside of them, but they don't know why.
They don't got the discipline.
They don't. To bring it off, to bring it out, and then they get mad at you because you got it, and you got the discipline you could do, and so it starts to make them dislike you because they're really mad at themselves. That's my personal belief in jealousy.
Personal belief, that's guaranteed exactly what the fuck it is. But